several questions for Coach.
You said going into this, you didn't want to get too high or too low, no matter what happened. Is it hard not to bring up?
Yeah, I mean, I just really liked the way our guys went out and competed. I thought they had good juice out of the gate. We dug ourselves a little bit of a hole there, but we didn't panic. Rink kept us in it with his ability to stretch the floor and, kind of forced a little bit of a shift in defense. And I thought we handled it really well. I thought, our flow, our play within the play, all but those last 2 or 3 minutes of the first half was really good all game long. And, it was good to see Connor get it going. I thought he made some really nice, slip out of screens and stepping into shots. But you just obviously see the difference of who we are and what we can do with Rink Mast on the floor. And, like I told the guys, this can't be the highlight of our season. We got to bounce back with an unbelievable effort on Monday. When we get back in the practice court, we'll have a good long film edit on some things that need to be cleaned up, which there's plenty. Would like to see us rebound and finish possessions better, especially in those last 5 minutes of the game to seal it and make our free throws. But, overall, yes, Robin, to answer your question, it was good to see our guys go out there and compete at a high level for 40 minutes.
What do you think it was that kind of loosened up BYU's defense in 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, well, when you have a stretch big like we do in Rink, it just forces you to play a different defense, I think, than, what your base is. And, Kevin and I talked before the game, and he said that they've been working on some switching. We talked about what our defenses were going to be, and, when they went to their switch, I thought we had pretty good switch attack for the most part. We went 2 Rink on the post in the second half. It was an adjustment that we tried to get that thing in there and play to the mismatch, but there really wasn't a lot of mismatch. Their size across the board is what made this game so good for us is their athleticism, their physicality, their length. It really simulated a Big Ten basketball game. And, I thought we handled it well for the most part, but, there's still some things we need to get better at, as we all do, as BYU does, as every team that's going through this right now. So that's why I said it. We're not going to overreact, whether it went great or if we wouldn't have played well. This is all part of the learning process to get ready for the opener.
Offensively, is this kind of the picture of what you think this team could look like? Not just the shooting, but 24 assists, 32 pace, 10 turnovers, just the way the ball was kind of moving to different guys. Is that kind of the picture of what you hope?
Yeah, and against pressure, it's to have the 10 turnovers. I did like that. We've been a little bit loose with it at times. I really stressed going into this one. We didn't need to go out and all of a sudden do something that we haven't done all year. I thought Jamarcus Lawrence's pace was absolutely phenomenal, and when the ball's not going to the basket, you have to find a way to impact the game, and he goes out there and leads us in rebounding with 7. We've been challenging Jamarcus to be better on the glass, and he goes for 9 assists and 1 turnover. But I really thought his pace was the difference in the game, and we got that thing down there. And I'd tell the guys, listen, play with pace doesn't mean you have to shoot it fast. It's getting the ball down the floor and playing with pace throughout the possession. And for the most part, I thought we did that, but Jamarcus certainly was the catalyst of it.
You talked about how diligent Rink has been in his rehab. To see him come out and have a performance like that, just what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Rink. And it shows the maturity, I think, of a player, of Rink Mast, to go out there and do the things that he did with not competing for. You know how hard that is to go out there and play for the first time after not playing any competitive basketball against another opponent for as long as he did, and then to step in like he did. If not for Rink, hell, it would have been 20-2, I think, out of the gate. But he just kept us in it with his unique skill set. And as teams have to continue to go out and guard him, our guys still need to cut better. And I did think we missed some slips on our cuts. I thought we had some free looks at the basket. But again, some of that had to do with their pressure with Keita, with a couple of their other guys. But overall, yes, to have Rink to go out and do what he did is pretty remarkable.
Kevin came in here and said, draft him first right now. Rink, what's your response to that?
Wait, say it again.
Kevin came in here and he said he'd draft Rink first overall.
There you go. I agree. Yeah, number 1 pick.
To have a close game like this right out of the gate, obviously you guys were in those situations a lot last year and had mixed results. To have to deal with that right away, how beneficial could that become Big Ten play?
Yeah, it was important for us to go out and do everything we could to win. I mean, I probably would have had Rink out there for another 5 or 6 minutes, but we, again, at the end of the day, this game didn't count. So, to play 28 minutes and to have 31 points, do what he did was remarkably efficient, for going out there. Wanted to get Leo a stint in the first half, and I thought he did great. Jared was questionable going into this one. I thought he had two good stints out there. So, I looked at it this way. Everybody that stepped on the floor, I thought made a positive impact on that game. But to go out and win a close one like this, it helps, because you just don't want to, last year we lost those 3 one-possession games in a row, man. You just don't want to have that here we go again mentality. And, to beat a top 10 team in a one-possession game I think was important for us.
What does this do for confidence just going into the season, kind of reaffirming that, especially on offense?
Well, I hope not too much, Wilson, because, again, there's a lot to work on. We can't, go out there and all of a sudden just start beating our chests and celebrate and think we're bigger than we are. We got to stay grounded through this, and we have to bounce back with great effort next week. The good thing is we got a full we'll have a full week of practice leading into the next exhibition starting on Monday. We'll take tomorrow off and then get back to work. So, just can't go out and all of a sudden, we just beat a top 10 team. And like I told them, guys, we didn't do a good enough job protecting home court last year. We got to be better 2 years ago. That's why we played in the tournament, because we were 10-0 in conference in this building. We actually won more road games last year than we did the year before, but we took care of home. So again, a lot to learn from. There's gonna be a lot of positives, but there's a lot to get better at.
Talk about how things got a little stagnant at the end of the first half. What do you see the first 7 minutes or so of the second half? Or 25-9, I think.
Yeah, and that was, I thought, the key part of the game, Jacob, is we went out and really threw the first punch in the second half after a tough ending. I told them, I said, they got the momentum at the end of the half. We got to go and take it back. And our guys went out and did a good job of getting the switch and getting the ball to Rink and playing off of him. I thought we had good cutting when we got that thing in there. Had a couple good high-low plays. So yes, overall, we got our movement. When we moved, I thought we had really efficient offense.
Coach?
Thanks, guys.
Fred, big time announced 10 minutes ago that Terry Walker passed away.
Yeah, I didn't know if I found out right before the game that Terry had passed away, and he really is one of the good guys in this business, and I know all 3 of those referees were very emotional. They spent a lot of time together, but Terry was supposed to be here next week. I just saw him at Media Day, 10 days ago, and it's a big loss. He did a phenomenal job with our officiating, and in his a guy that's so well respected all across our game because of who he is and the way he conducted himself. He always called. He never hid behind anything. He was very transparent, on missed calls, missed assignments, that type of thing. So, he'll definitely be missed. And yes, when I heard that right before we went out for tip, it was it was very emotional. Thanks.